Hi, you're here with Homesteading with Blue Sky Ranch. And today we want to talk to you about 2022, our successes and our
Not so successful. We don't want to call them failures. Ultimately, it mostly worked out.
So we've been here on our homestead for almost a year and a half. Our first half of our year in 2021 got off to a really rocky start. We bought our home here, our homestead, with big, huge plans. And I think we were here 3 or 4 days moving in, and he came down with cellulitis, blood bacteria in his leg, and ended up in the hospital for 4 days. And that set us off to a really rocky, bumpy start here because it took you months after that to actually get well and feel like you could participate.
Yep. Well, I still participated, just not at 100%.
And so then also, so it started off in his leg, and then in 2021, then he hurt his knee in that November. So in June, he had this end of June, July, he had the cellulitis. Then he hurt his knee in November of 2021.
And that was a meniscus tear,
A meniscus tear.
a big bad one.
So we have been off to a rocky homesteading start.
We have.
But
But still working through the pain.
yeah, we are still working through everything, and we just want to go over that. Yeah, you make plans, and I always say people make plans, God laughs. And we had big, huge plans right off the get-go, but we have accomplished pretty much everything we set out to do, and proud of everything we did.
Yeah.
But we want to just kind of start with you guys about homesteading successes and where you got to start with. And our number one thing that we needed in our homestead was a tractor.
Yes.
And I think before you start anything, you got to have the tools to build what you need and to do everything. We couldn't have done it without our tractor.
No, the tractor is.
It's like having a hired hand.
It's a must, but you know, I bought a too small a tractor in the first place. I bought a compact John Deere 2025R, and
we wish we bought one a little bigger because
quite a bit bigger, at least a 40 horsepower, because now our plans have changed
a little bit. But anyway, first of all, when you buy your homestead, whether you're looking at a specific location or whatever you're looking for, you may not get everything you wanted, and then you gotta build it.
Yeah, you got to build the infrastructure.
So here at our place, we've got 20 beautiful acres that was ready to be fenced. So that was our number one thing here, was to get our place fenced and ready for livestock, for cows.
Yeah, and so we built a 5-strand high tensile strength wire fence with wood H braces and bracing at the ends, and it turned out
three strands are electrified.
Yeah, and that could be a whole nother YouTube of how I did that, because two of the lines are actually grounded. So if a critter touches, they don't ground themselves through the ground because it's so far away. It's half mile down the road.
But before you get cows or livestock or whatever you want to do, you got to have a fence. And maybe your place that you buy comes with a fence. Ours did not, or maybe it needs repairs.
Yep.
But that was our number one thing, was to get the tractor so we could do some post hole digging, and it could carry everything down the 20 acres.
Yep.
And it was like our hired helper. But we put in our electric fence, like you said, 5-strand electric. This was a huge undertaking, but we accomplished it, and it took us several weeks. And people looked at us like we were crazy, like, oh, those two people can't, they don't know what they're doing.
That's right.
Our neighbors,
those city folk.
Yeah, our neighbors would just go by, and here we have now the best fence out of everybody, and we're keeping our cows in. Yes. So our number one success was our fence.
Yeah, it was a huge success.
So our second thing with that was we got cows. We brought home the cows, and that is a success / it could go both ways. We brought home six cows. We had 2 cows and 5 calves, or no, 4 calves. And we thought that 3 were steer and 1 was a little heifer. And that was one of our funny things. That was kind of a slash success failure, questionable. We ended up with 1 bull.
Well, you
And
started talking. You wanted a bowl,
and so now we
and
have
all
a
of a sudden you had
bull.
a bowl.
So we thought we were gonna have more meat to sell, but we ended up with 2 steer, a bull, and a little heifer, and 2 cows. And then one of our other things that wasn't a success was one of the cows was 17. It was kind of a package deal. It was a package deal that if we took these calves, we had to take the old cows. And we didn't really want the cows, but it was kind of like, okay, you know, they're beautiful.
It was it was a in the family deal.
It was a family deal. So anyway, we took these cows in, and we ended up losing one of the cows in
the middle of winter,
and so that was not a success.
Nope, and that was a crazy thing because you had to. We had to bury the cow in the middle of winter. We have permafrost
we had to
here.
borrow an excavator from our neighbor.
Yep, and fortunately he has one, and he is wonderful. It lets us use his. It's actually the larger tractor that I needed with a backhoe on it. But that was
we had to bury her.
That was a heck of a hole.
Yeah, and that was not a success, and that was a great introduction into farming.
Yes, in the middle of winter because it was below zero.
It was very cold, and like I said, we had permafrost. The ground was hard as a rock, and what do you do? So that was part of our things. But she was old; she was 17. It was a big stressful move for her to come to our place.
Yeah,
she had never been off their ranch, and anyway, that was stressful for her. She did great. She did great for the first couple months, but you know, there was nothing visibly wrong with her. It just happened.
She just passed in the middle of the night. And the next thing we bring up is we built a
shelter for them, and they had the shelter. So that was so we built the fence, and then we got the cows, and then we built them a shelter before it got too cold, so they had a shelter.
We were hauling butt getting that shelter built before the weather got any worse.
And so then came January. And so this all happened like the last 2 months of 2021. So we're just going to roll that into that was part of 2022 because we got off to such a rocky start. But in 2022, right after the holidays, I brought home baby chickens thinking, oh, I have nothing to do. They have to be kept inside because they're babies. They're only, a day, 2 days old. And then we started out with 7 little baby chicks. And I lost one in the first 2 days. It just didn't make it. But then we nurtured them. They made it. They were all super cute. But I have a video about that, is whether you should get baby chicks. And the answer, in my opinion, was a big fat no.
Yeah, or get a lot more.
Because what we ended up with was 2 roosters. And then we had 4 girls, little hens. But we bought barnyard mix, and so that was also a mistake. Was that they were part of them were banties. They're like a smaller chicken. They're a mixture. They're really small hens, and then we ended up with
a bossy leghorn, foghorn rooster that was mammoth.
He was mammoth, and so he ended up killing by no fault of his own. Really, he was just too big. He ended up killing 2 of the hens.
Yes,
and then another
we should have got rid of him.
Right away. Another farm mistake. And then one of the other hens died from a broken leg from being pasture free and getting to run around. She hurt her leg and it would not heal. So
I think free range.
Yeah. So then, along with the chickens, it ends up to be a failure slash success because we went out and we bought 1-year-old chickens from another lady. We ended up getting 6 Australorps, and they were laying eggs in the boxes coming home with them.
2 thumbs up on those guys. Girls.
The Australorps are fantastic. They are awesome hen layers. They moved right in. We commingled them with our rooster and 2 of the other little hens after a couple weeks, and everybody gets along perfect.
That was the way to go. If you can find people who are selling young producing hens, man. That's the way to
So I
go.
just don't think you should waste your time on baby chicks especially unless they should be sexed. So you know you're getting
Yeah, but
females.
that part doesn't work either because
Yeah, he
the
thought he
person doing
sexed
the
them.
sexting,
He didn't
way
know what
wrong.
he didn't know what he was
Yeah,
quite doing.
yeah, wings, vents. Oh, it's just too much stuff.
Too much stuff, and it takes a lot of time. So the amount of time you spend on baby chickens and the food and everything, you could have just went out and bought pullets and paid. I mean, I paid like $6 a piece for the baby chickens, and I bought the chickens that were producing for 12.
Yeah, it was a wonderful deal.
And they were laying eggs in a second
Uh,
instead of 6 months.
yeah, probably on a
So
side note, this year you say you want an incubator and you're gonna try to do a few
I
just
might.
cause just
Yeah, but I
see
know
if
what I'm getting. So we're gonna have
yes,
Australorps and a mix of our rooster who's a
true.
Yam Samani. So they'll be really cool
The
looking.
coolest the coolest rooster you've ever seen in your entire life.
And he's a real success. He's been a great
Yeah,
success to the
he's
farm.
amazing.
We just adore him.
His name's Rip.
Rip from Yellowstone.
Yep.
So our next thing that we did that was a super success was in the springtime. I started seed starting in the house. So I had trays and trays and trays of seeds growing pretty much everywhere throughout the house in any sunny window I could find. We had tomatoes. I think I grew over
Hundreds.
a couple hundred tomato starts. Everything grew that I planted, and we had tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, eggplants, some herbs. I started all that from seeds, and we didn't buy one vegetable plant. So along with the chickens, then you have to build them a chicken house. So our next project on the homestead, last spring or this spring, was a chicken tractor. So like all of you have watched so many YouTubes on building chicken tractors, and we built a really great chicken tractor, all from repurposed pallets and lumber, materials, metal. Pretty much cost us nothing except for the
Tires.
hardware cloth and the tires.
Yep.
But that worked great for the first few months until it got too hot and too windy. And so the chicken tractor did not work for us at all. I was able to move it by myself the whole length of the tractor and keep it moving, and that worked great. And the grass was great. There were weeds, whatever that they were on. But when it got too hot and too windy, we really realized that where we live, there's no shelter. So we ended up having to pretty much ixnay the chicken tractor because we needed to put it where there was shade. And so we ended up moving it behind an outdoor building that we have so they would have shade and shelter from the wind in the summertime here, because we're just in a wide open thousands of acres of wheat fields here.
And the wind blows ferociously.
And the chickens don't like that. And then when it hit 115 here, I think it hit 116 here, you can't have them out in a chicken tractor in direct sun and no protection. So, before you get hooked on building a chicken tractor like we did, because I thought it was going to be awesome, think about, I guess, your location of where you're going to be keeping this. And also in the wintertime, it wouldn't have worked. They needed to be right up against that building there, protected from all the elements. So anyway, when it comes to the chickens, they are a huge success. We love their eggs. And I mean, if you're starting a homestead, I think it's the first thing you should do is get chickens.
Well, and they're just plain fun to watch. Go back and forth all day long outside.
So much fun.
The rooster telling everybody what to do. And of course, now we have a new puppy, and we're not sure
there's going to be some training.
Yeah,
in 2023, there'll be puppy training.
There'll be puppy training with chickens.
Yes. And so after that, I guess with that, we put in our huge market garden. Yep. And it's 140 by about 100, I think, roughly. Yeah. It's a huge, huge market garden that we put in. And along with the tractor, we did buy a rototiller implement. Yep. And so we have the tools to do this.
And a rake.
And a landscape rake. So we have the total tools to do this. We put in a huge market garden. We did no added soil or amendments. Mm-hmm. We just wanted to check out what our soil would bring us.
I had my doubts because it was pure dust in the, it looks like moon dust. I'm like, They were never going to
Yeah,
be able to make a mound.
we're in Eastern Washington,
Yeah, I like.
so we don't have a rock in our soil though. We're really blessed with that where we put the garden.
You found
Below
one.
us, yeah, below us is lava rock, and in areas you will hit it where
Yeah.
we did some post hole digging, but our soil's good. I mean, it's all wheat around here, so I figure, hey, wheat grows. So, but of course they do fertilize.
Who
But
knows what they do?
anyway, with the garden, we put in this huge market garden, and we planted everything. And we pretty much overplanted absolutely everything because we didn't know what rodents would come in and eat it. We have ground squirrels, we have voles, we have
Well,
moles, we
our
have
our
rabbits.
our theory was give enough food for everybody.
Right, if we've overplanted that, we would still get our harvest. And anyway, we the garden did great. I
It
mean,
did.
way better than I could have ever imagined for no fertilizer. We did overhead orbit
And
watering
that worked.
sprinklers, which
Wasn't
was
super
tough.
awesome.
It was really
Yeah.
tough because of
Yeah.
the wind here.
And sort of expensive because each one of those orbit sprinklers are with a tripod at least $50.
Yeah, so we
So
had,
we had 8 of them.
and then we had to run. Yeah, we had 8 sprinklers, and I don't know, we must have had a dozen hoses. So we had quite a bit of money invested into this, and
We're not we're not sure. We're not sure.
I wish we would have done it differently with the drip irrigation.
Well, we can always do
And we
drip, but
might
man,
end
what
up
a that's something else to
right.
have to roll, unroll, redo every year. I mean,
So I have a
who
feeling we're
knows?
going to stick with what we're doing again this year because we put so much money into it.
It's not just
But we
money.
will be changing things a little bit.
Yeah.
But the very best thing what we did make and build during all this time was our hoop house greenhouse. And you know, the food that we produced in that greenhouse
That's
it
amazing.
was epic. I mean, I couldn't have in my wildest dreams thought I was going to grow that much in this greenhouse.
I had pretty wild dreams, and I think we grew that much in them.
I guess. And so our greenhouse is super. Well, we should do a video on that. But another thing that we repurpose pallets, we repurpose the beam, the most of the wood, the lumber. We only had to buy.
Well, yeah, most people don't engineer it the way I did. I
No.
just happen to have an extra 20-foot long rough sawn beam to put up, which was just amazing. It made this thing. We've had 70-mile-per-hour winds, and it's survived.
Good. So, and we had to buy the plastic,
Yep.
and we bought some the wiggle wire. We bought some strapping,
Yep.
but all in all, I don't think we had more than $300 into this thing.
No.
And the amount of tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers that we got out of it, phenomenal. And we used all repurposed buckets on the inside.
Yep.
We were as frugal as we could possibly be to build a greenhouse.
I'm sure you'll be able to pop in a few pictures here and there on this.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
So, but the greenhouse is a thumbs up, big time. It's awesome.
It is.
Big fail.
Costco, bare root, awful.
We bought 8 different fruit trees from Costco. When they came out, they were bare root. We bought cherry, apple.
Yeah. Who knows how long they were sitting at Costco? I mean, I just don't.
I don't know, but we did everything right, and only 3 survived out of the 8. So that was a fail. And the sad part about that is that here a whole year went by, and I have to start again this year. So
and then you have to dig them up, and you have to bring them back with the original receipt and the plant, and give them back to Costco so they can give you back your $20.
So make sure you if you end up buying anything. Even if you get it from like Home Depot or anything, keep your receipt, keep the bag, because this stuff, when it's bare root, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, another thing that you didn't have on your list is we did the same thing almost with our grape plants.
Yes.
We built a beautiful infrastructure for our grapes, thinking, oh, this is going to be easy peasy. But that is labor.
They were also bare root and really slow
very
growing,
expensive,
and they were expensive. And then the bunnies came along and helped me.
They love those.
So it seemed like every time I turned around, I was having to net, wire cage, blueberries, grapes.
And the grapes are still super small. I mean,
And the
we
fruit
we built some cool
trees.
stuff for them. In years, they'll probably reach the wire.
So I guess when you go to build your infrastructures of your gardens, your plants. I mean, into consideration that you're probably going to end up netting them or caging them because everything wants to eat them.
Yep, everything wants those nice
Everything wants,
leaves.
and we don't have like a solid fence here, so everything can just come right in.
Well, birds. Well, yeah, we didn't talk about in our garden. We called the garden a huge success. Well, the only thing that wasn't a huge success but grew well was the corn. Corn was going great. We had great ears, and we should have covered it, but we did not because in one day, these birds. What were they?
They were a type of starling, a cowbird.
Yeah, they came in. They absolutely hung upside down
they
and demolished our corn plants in a day.
In one day, they'd eaten everything that was almost ripe. They weren't quite ripe, but they peeled everything back.
I'm shaking my head in disbelief. They were very efficient corn destroyers.
We were able to salvage
we had some
the cows, and so it wasn't a total waste. I mean, the cows and the chickens still got the corn,
and we ate some too.
But it was disappointing.
It was.
But along with that, remember during this whole time, Tom's got a hurt knee, and he really busted through this whole year of 2022 with a bum knee, thinking it was going to get better. So the final straw to his knee was we installed solar. So part of our plan here as homesteaders is to be completely self-sufficient. And that's what you want to go for when you're a homesteader. So we're trying to grow our own beef. We're trying to grow our own vegetables. We were trying to grow fruit. We have our eggs from our chickens. And so then our next thing of self-sufficiency is to bring in other resources in case we're in power, grid down situations.
Which has now been happening around the United States from, what do you call it? Domestic terrorism. We had a power outage the other day. Almost 7,000 people were without power just the other day. And it was Christmas Day. And then same thing happened over on the west side of the mountains. Over 8,000 people were without power over there due to people terrorizing the power grid.
So that's why you go ahead and you have to try to be self-sufficient. So therefore, we have a generator, which we already had, and then we put in the solar. So this year we installed the solar system ourselves, which he designed, and he spent he spent about 2 months designing it. And then trying to get the solar equipment was really difficult because there was shortages. And I don't know what it's like now, but severe shortages of buying anything out there. And
everything was out in the ocean on container ships coming from China.
So we finally got everything ordered. We bit the bullet. The prices had gone up, but we're like, we really want to do this because that is one of our mistakes we have made in the past is where we buy a place, a homestead or a home, and we wait and wait and wait to do things. And then we don't get to enjoy that because we end up moving or selling or doing something. Our life changes. So now this time we go around, we want to do things right in the beginning. So installing the solar was a huge expense, but really big on our list. So we'll talk about that another time, but we put in a full house solar system, which he designed and we installed. And he did most of it. I was his helper, but we did this all on our own. We never hired one person. So this is huge. So this was a huge success. It does have its ups and downs that we've learned with solar, but but we do have it and it's here. And along with being self-sufficient, we found a wood insert used, and we also installed that this summer. We found one during the middle of summer when nobody's thinking about wood inserts, and we went and got it and we installed it because we wanted
EPA certified with chimney liner.
Yeah, but it's used, and we got it. I mean, it wasn't super cheap because everything's gone up, but we did get it. And we've used it all winter. So this has been wonderful. We love wood heat.
Yes, that's awesome.
So along with self-sufficiency comes, along with all that, was our canning and preserving of food. And we will give that we put up so much stuff from the garden. I mean, everything I could, I made it. And we are still like, we have a pot of spaghetti on today. It's the end of December, and it's all still from produce out of the garden that we've cold stored.
And cows from the pasture.
And cow and steer our fresh meat.
Yep.
So along with that, we did tons of canning, we did freezing, and then a huge thing for us this year is we took 2 steer to market and had them butchered this year, and that was huge.
Yep.
I mean, it was a huge accomplishment. And along with butchering, we also had our first baby calves this year. So the whole cow thing has been a super good success for us. And having our own meat and having our own produce. I mean, again, self-sufficiency on a homestead is everything. And if you feel like that you obtain that, maybe it wasn't perfect, but
No.
we've done darn good.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, this is our first time with the cow thing, so I think we're doing great.
So the only thing that really hit us hard with the cows this year was we could not find anyone to do our hay. We have we have about 18 acres of hay. And the year before there was a drought and we had beautiful hay and everybody wanted it.
Yep.
And so we had no problem getting that done. But this year, no drought. We had record hay here from the wet spring. And so our small property, nobody wanted to help us.
Yeah, we were small potatoes and
we tried.
Not worth doing.
We tried and tried and tried to get help, and we could not get any help.
Yeah,
and,
so we've solved the problem now.
But so we're going into this. We're going into this winter with last year's hay that we had, and luckily that we had put up a lot, and so we had enough hay going into the season. But if we are not able to get hay next year, we would have to buy it, and then you really cannot afford your cows.
Not a small operation like ours. It wouldn't work.
So this year, the hay was a fail. It did not work out for us. But what we've done to solve that is we went ahead, and if you've watched our other videos, we are not going to rely on anybody else. We bought our own swather, which needs some work.
Hopefully it works.
And he's going to work on that. And we bought a baler and we bought a hay rake. Yep. So we are trying to take that middleman out of the whole thing and just become totally self-sufficient. And who knows, maybe other people will be hiring us to help them. And that would be okay too, But if we had to buy hay, we can't have cows.
No, well, between the butchering fee and the feed,
and the cost of buying the calves.
Yeah,
I mean, it all adds up, and that should be a video in itself, because can you afford to have a cow? Boy, it's not cheap at all. Yeah. So, what else did we do? I don't know. I think that's about it. Yeah. We kind of ended the year with butchering the steer.
Yep.
And that was kind of our last.
And we built on to Cowtown.
Oh, yeah, we added a little lean-to. We call it Cowtown.
Yeah, it was a lean-to, and now it's more of a kind of a house-like structure.
We had to kind of add on to it to keep the wind from coming in.
We called it Cowtown 2.
Yeah, but and our last wonderful addition to our homestead is our puppy.
Yeah.
And we really held off on this because we have an old dog. She's 14, and we really didn't want to mess with her life. But oh my gosh!
But it's great.
We are having a blast.
Our Lola is our old dog. She's kind of a healer mix, but she's like a teacher. She's a teacher. She is a really awesome teacher for the. We call her a puppy. I mean, the puppy's bigger than Lola.
She's 6 months. She's going on 7 already. We've had her 3 weeks.
What was she? A healer Labradoodle?
Yeah, she's healer Labradoodle. So she is a great addition to our new life here at the homestead. And but all in all, I think we've done great. Oh, and then Tom had to have knee surgery. And it still didn't fix our problem. So we're going into 2023, and he's still limpy and gimpy.
It did not fix me. I cannot.
Unfortunately. He had a meniscus tear, and he had that dealt with in August. He had to have surgery.
Yeah.
And we were hoping it was going to make everything great again, and it just hasn't. So
we're moving on.
We're doing great. And every day is a blessing here, and we love it here, and we wouldn't be doing anything different. And we're looking forward to 2023. Our garden, we'll have another epic garden, I hope.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll do some great hay videos to show how we're going to learn to do hay, and hopefully more calves
This
and
will
more
be a
baby
first for
chickens.
the hay. It's
There'll be a
I'm
lot of
like,
firsts,
wow.
but we got to start somewhere. We are first generation farmers. We are learning as we go.
Hopefully get a bigger tractor.
And it's just you and me, kid.
It's you and me.
And so anyway, hope you enjoyed watching our videos this year, and we're gonna look forward to making lots more next year.
Yep.
Showing our progress here, and if you guys have some comments, leave them below. Please keep them nice.
Like, share, and
Like, share, and
subscribe.
subscribe. We'll see you next year.